Hello, beautiful people. I'm here with an energy check-in for this week of the solstice. I'm feeling the energy right now, and it's been pretty good. I'm doing well, but I definitely feel the ups and downs, the thinness of, I almost want to say it's a thinning veil, but what I'm really picking up on, and I've mentioned this to a friend today in a chat we were having, is that I feel that we are collectively and the planet are in this shift in frequency, which I've said before. And I've talked about being at a checkpoint, at a choice point, a checkpoint, across almost like a crossroads. It's like, do you want to continue? Do you want to move forward? How resilient is your soul? Where's your willpower in the sense of accomplishing your purpose in some ways, or like honoring your mission and your choice to be here. And it's okay if you do want to tap out and try again at a different time, or it's just too much to bear. Like, I feel like we're in this shift, and the energy is shifting into the new earth or the new world, and it's not a destination, it's a frequency. I didn't come up with that. I love that saying, but it's something that I've been hearing in my head a lot recently, where it's like, all this talk about the new earth. I've been talking about it a lot. And I mean, if you go to Dolores Cannon's work, that was like what, the early 2000s, that she was speaking about the new earth. And so this isn't anything new. And what is shifting is the frequency, is the vibration of the planet. So new earth is a frequency, it's not a destination. And so our realities are shifting in accordance with that. And so some people feel really anchored in what we would consider the denser energies or the old earth. And a lot of us, especially if you're watching my videos, you are feeling more in alignment and more expanded and resonating with what we are naming or calling the new earth. And some people are really in the in between, like they don't really have possibly a strong feeling towards one or the other. And that in between, it's almost like they're stuck in almost like purgatory, or this in between space. And it's like they're not really sure which way they want to go, because and I've seen this happen more. I see the manifestation of the inner struggle. I see that manifestation happening on a physical level with people in my life, and just being very observant to my environment, even if it's people that I don't know. But I'm seeing people embrace the change in the world. I'm seeing people drowning in the negativity and the heavy, dense projections and experiences of what the reality could be. And as I mentioned, I was having a conversation with a friend today, and I really see it as like both realities existing, because you can't have dark without the light, and you can't have dark without, or light without the dark. And so I see both extremes of the perspectives, or of reality in existence. They're in existence simultaneously. Which one are you going to resonate with? Which are you going to get focused to? Right. And the key here is not to bypass the negative, heavy, dense reality, the very like experience or existence that's deep within separation, which some of us would call ego. It's one thing to, it's like we don't want to bypass that, right? We want to acknowledge it, acknowledge its existence. It's there, it's happening, but we want to focus our energy, our time, our action, to move towards this other end of the spectrum. And right now we're somewhere in the middle. And honestly, that middle point is, as I mentioned in the previous check-in, is that middle point is somewhere, it is somewhat of a sweet spot, or finding that sweet spot. It is that neutral place, right? It's almost like you don't really have desires, but you do, right? You're not letting your desires drive you, right? Because it's like you can have the desire to, like, we all want to be free, we all want to be happy, we all want to be healthy, and we all want to experience love. And so the way that we experience that desire or cultivate that desire can be from one extreme or the other, right? We can cultivate that experience or like feed into that desire through like a negative lack perspective where there's not enough to go around, or like I'm trapped, or nobody loves me, or I'm holding on to this like relationship because it feels secure even though I know that it's not good for me, right? That is that expression and movement towards desire, right? And then on the other end of the spectrum, we have the experience of finding our own inner security within ourselves, like finding our freedom within ourselves, liberating ourselves from the inside out, which will also include our sense of worth. So we'll no longer tolerate or give energy to relationships that are not in alignment, that are toxic, possibly, that are dense, that are just like not serving us anymore. And we're willing to, let that go and move towards this desire of a true connection or financial freedom, or, like, the ability to exist and live your life. We can do that in a way that is life-giving, not life negating, right? So the point is, I'm highlighting the extremes that are present here. And I've been seeing a lot of people, unfortunately, around me, I've been seeing them breaking down because they are not doing the inner work. And this is not a place of judgment. Either they're not doing the inner work, or they are not, just they don't have the resilience, they don't have the capacity. Like everyone is like at their capacity. As a collective, we can really not take anymore. And so I've been seeing people really having a hard time with existence right now. And so when it comes to doing the inner work, it's not like, oh, I'm going to sit here and journal, or like it could be as simple as taking time for yourself. And this is a major theme I'm picking up on for Cancer season, which the solstice is this weekend. So that's going to be really important. So I'm picking up on this for Cancer season, which is all about nurture, care, creating a safe space, creating a nurturing space so that we can thrive, mature, and evolve, being well taken care of, being nourished. That's really important. And I'm also seeing this with Chiron moving into Taurus on June 19th this week, right? So 2 days before the solstice. And that Chiron transition is really significant because Chiron's been in Aries since 2019. And Chiron's transit through Aries and Chiron's transit through Taurus is the longest transits of Chiron's overall cycle through the 12 signs or the 12 archetypes. And so it's going to spend about 7 to 8 years in Taurus. And like the shortest end of the spectrum here for Chiron's transit, because it's an asteroid and it has, I guess, an erratic orbit through around the sun, or through the path of our perspective, right, through the zodiac. It can spend as short of time as 1.5 years in a sign, right? So we're here in the extended part of the cycle, which I think also is really interesting, because when I think about Aries energy, Aries is the archetype that can be a bit impatient. Aries has this restless energy, wanting to go, 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 and also just learning to be present, be in the moment, and honoring that natural energy, but also just being okay with where we are in the moment, right? And just learning how to ground in the moment of now. So that's Aries energy. And so Chiron, having its longer duration, Chiron's not an easy planet or asteroid to work with or to navigate, because it is known as the archetype of the wounded healer. And so naturally, whatever place in your chart it moves through, it's going to highlight the wounds that are associated with that archetype, as well as the area of life, again, that is moving through your chart, right? So with Aries, was a focus on independence, on our willpower, on our individuality, and also like our ability to trust in life, take a leap of faith, be a pioneer, and just being in the moment, being very present, right? So balancing that energy so it is not like, kind of chaotic and all over the place, really honoring and grounding that in. And so we've been experiencing that with Chiron and Aries. And now Chiron is moving into Taurus, which I said, it's going to be in Taurus for 7 to 8 years. And so we're going to be learning how to rebuild our self-worth from the inside out, right? So Taurus is a very personal sign. It's a very grounded sign. It loves its own personal sense of security. It wants to feel good. It wants to be nourished. It wants to be resourced and have all the things, right? Being supported. And it's more of like a very individual embodiment experience. And so we're also going to be learning or experiencing healing through our body and our nervous system, which is, also really important as Uranus is in Gemini. And also, we are currently in the Gemini lunar cycle as this is happening. And so, it's all coming together, right? And I feel like Taurus can't catch a break, right? Because we had Uranus move through Taurus for about 7 years, and it finally moved into Gemini. And now we had a little bit of a breather room, and now Chiron's moving into Taurus just to help us like finish up a little bit of the work that we were navigating, or that the inner, the healing that we were navigating and experiencing with Uranus and Taurus. Now Chiron's coming through. It's like, oh, there's a little bit more. And so we're also more than likely going to experience changes within our relationship to security and having that security with others. And then also reassessing our spending habits and our shared resources, right? So what do I need to feel safe and secure? What are my essentials? What's non-negotiable? And then creating an environment for ourselves that support that, right? And releasing what doesn't support that. So Taurus wants consistency. And again, coming back to, this vibe of slowing down, and Chiron having its longest transits in Aries, which is not about slowing down. Like they need to pump the brakes. And Taurus loves to take things slow. And so that is really what I've been gathering for people, the collective lately, because I know people have been laid off from their jobs. They've been having challenges with their home life, with survival, and just even our nervous system is going through all of these changes as the planet raises her frequency and we're shifting into this new frequency of the new earth, right? What do you choose? Do you choose this expansion, this own security and self-worth and within who it is that you are, and really anchoring in your sense of belonging and knowing that you're worthy to be here and be supported? You're not meant to be here to struggle. So what do you choose? Do you choose to give energy into really anchoring in your sense of belonging, your sense of inner worth, your sense of like knowing that you are not meant to be on earth and to struggle? This is not the world that source, creator, God, the divine wanted to create. This is not what we were meant to experience. And we get to change that. We have the power to change that. And also, what's really coming through is that we just have to live and take it day to day, moment to moment. We don't have to have everything figured out. We don't have to save everyone. We have to focus on ourselves, focus on our nourishment, focus on grounding and reconnecting with earth, and allow the synchronicities to come to you, to come to us. That will be like the little breadcrumbs. I literally experiencing this today in the moment. I've had, just things come up where my time was not non-negotiable. These people, not these people, but people in my life, let's just say it like that, they were wanting to basically do some extra work to get some money. and it would have shortened the time that I needed to do to take care of my things that I have been pushing off for a while. And I had the time already, I was already in motion of taking that time. And, I was like, well, weighing the odds, I'm like, my time is more valuable than this little bit of chunk of change, right? Here we are chasing money. Like, let's not do that. And I was like, oh, if this is all you need, we can cultivate that. We can generate $20, 20, $30, like easy, right? And not only did we generate the $20 effortlessly, or I did, but we also received another $50. I just found out right now. So it's like, I don't have to do a lot of work to receive. The universe is abundant. The planet is abundant. We really are so deeply rooted in these beliefs of lack, of scarcity, and all of that's coming to the forefront. And so the little things that we need to do essentially is just change our beliefs moment to moment and really kind of trust in life. I know that's really hard when we see everything happening around us, but trust in life and just take a little bit of a leap of faith and step out of your comfort zone. Or do you want to choose the other end of the spectrum, which is the density of not having enough, of moving in a specific way, like kind of the mindset, there's only one way to do things. This is the way we've always done it. And I just am so, I don't want to step out of my comfort zone because I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I don't trust in life. And I feel like some of us, like most of us, are kind of in the in between of this. And the way I've honestly been navigating this is, as I mentioned, just taking these little bitty leaps of faith, trusting in life a little bit more than I have been, and also really feeling into and affirming that I am safe, I am grounded. And you might not necessarily believe it at first, like right as you do it. But if you are saying this and connecting with your body while putting your feet in the ground, while doing like yoga or some sort of embodiment, by like when you're nourishing yourself, just when you're doing these Taurian activities, that is a good time to affirm, like, I'm safe to be here. I belong here. I'm meant to be here. I am secure within myself. I am supported by earth, by the universe, by spirit, whatever feels in alignment with, what you need right now, affirm that. And also just take note of any experiences that you've had that affirm that, right? It could be a little thing, like someone surprised you with something, or maybe you got a refund on something, or maybe you were supposed to receive something or be with someone, but the plans fell through, but it actually was like a blessing in disguise or something. It worked itself out in some way. Just trusting in that and slowing down. We don't have to be in control of everything. And that's an Aries, or I would say also Taurus aspect too, of wanting to have control. Because if we can control our environment, in some ways we feel safe. When we feel like we don't have any control, that's when we feel really unsafe. And so these are the things that are coming up, and what we are being guided to learn through Chiron moving through Taurus is that it's going to bring up or reveal wounds regarding trust, dependability, financial stability, emotional safety, and receiving support, right? Whether that's being, receiving love or resources, nourishment, just feeling that sense of worth, right? And this experience is inviting us to soften into some sustainable rhythm that is in alignment with our truth, with our feeling of being safe and secure, right? Not what someone else tells you, because that's not you. That's not in alignment with you. And also, what's been helping me recently, in addition to what I just mentioned, the affirmations, journaling, or just even mentally reflecting on how I've been supported recently or in the past. So I know through evidence that I am supported. And also, what's been helping is that trusting in life, in the sense that I am meant to be here. not only meant to exist, but in certain situations where I'm just like, I have these goals, I have these desires, and they haven't manifested, but I know they're in alignment. I know that they're my truth. It just seems like there's some things I might have to navigate and work out. There are reasons that I don't fully understand. And I'm just going to trust that I'm meant to be here doing this thing. I'm not meant to have that temple, so to speak, for an example. Not yet. There are other things that I need to flesh out. Maybe when it comes to something that my daughter needs, we're meant to be here in New York and not like in the desert somewhere in Southwest or wherever I end up as far as my temple. So these are little things that I have been really beginning to feel into. Like I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing in that moment. Otherwise, I would be doing something else. Right. And so when I guilt myself about, oh, I haven't done a video, I haven't been on social media, I haven't sent this email, I haven't called to make this appointment, it's on my list. It's going to get done. But right now, I guess I'm meant to sit outside and journal or listen to, a podcast or whatever it is that I'm always guilting myself about. It could be, oh, I'm just relaxing, reading a book, and I should be, at work or something like that. No, like I'm meant to be where I am at this moment and really honoring that. That's something that, that's my own personal sense of lack of security when it comes to receiving without doing. I think I mentioned this in the last video, where it's hard for a lot of us we feel like we have to produce more to receive more. And that is anchored in lack mindset. Like we don't have to do more. We're already supported. Life is already abundant. And I know we've been hearing this over and over and over. So right now I'm having fun and it's really scary, but I'm having fun with seeing how things just show up. Like, it's like, oh, I could really try to squeeze in this little bit of time to make this little bit of money because I know I can get it. It's secure. Or I can just do what I'm already in the process of doing, what I really want to do, and communicate with my guides for assistance, because I did also do that this morning, and allow them to help me, and just having fun with seeing how it unfolds and how you receive it, because that's really exciting in that sense. So, since situations may arise that encourage us to cultivate a deeper sense of worth that is no longer dependent on outside circumstances. And I see that is what people are getting hung up on is, this we're not seeing it in our physical world, or what we're seeing in our physical world is telling us that we don't have enough money. We can't take care of ourselves. Like we are not responsible. We don't make good decisions because look at XYZ. And it's like, no, we are worthy because we exist. And that's something I'm really drilling in myself. And you're going to hear me say it a lot on my channel, in my work, and everything that I share. So speaking of this, I'm going to be going live with Jackie for our monthly Starseed live chat. We are going to be talking about this because we are going to start speaking to the galactic connections, or the starseed connection, in reference to the energy centers, because everything is shifting in a sense of our frequency, where we vibrate, what we the energy we give off, basically being in alignment and tracking certain things in. And when it comes to belonging and the starseed, experience or journey, the very first place to start is with that root chakra, is with the grounding, feeling supported, feeling safe and secure, knowing you're meant to be here. Yes, you have galactic connections, but you, in this moment, in this perspective, you are human. So let's not escape our humanism, and let's really feel into and get excited about our mission here, what we're meant to do. And so coming back to our own sense of security, our own inner strength and sense of belonging here on this planet, we can really feel that security. And then we get to open up these other energy centers that will really generate the abundance, the connections, the activity around our mission, our purpose. And so we're going to be talking about that June 21st 1st, which is the solstice at 11:11 a.m. You'll see it pop up here on my channel as far as like the notification for that. And I would love to connect with you live and show up in the chat, and we can talk about solstice. We're here for the organic energies and the organic conversation. So if you want to even go deeper into what I shared here as far as Chiron and Taurus, there'll be more energy present with Cancer season. I really feel the energetic support of the divine mother, the divine feminine, is definitely coming in to balance out the energy of the masculine and feminine here, of like the experience of duality. So I feel that wave of feminine energy coming forth, and I can feel that that might already be something that is going to be deeply supportive during with Chiron and Taurus and Cancer season. Now Chiron's going to be moving to Taurus, as I mentioned, on June 19th. And then Chiron will begin its retrograde cycle, I believe, August 3rd. And we'll move back into Aries in September up until pretty much it will move, I think, back into Taurus in April of 2027. So this is like a little preview right now of what we will likely experience for Chiron's transit through Taurus. We'll get a little bit of a grace period and just reflection and integration period in reference to Chiron's transit through Aries. So that's something that you might want to look into. But let's just look at my notes here and see if there's anything that I missed. Nope. I just, this is going to be a new healing cycle. And I love that, you know, Taurus is an earth sign. So I feel like that, I feel like this nurture and this healing cycle really focus on the planet, focus on nature and the earth, and our reconnection with our home, inside and outside. And so by connecting with nature, the animals, the plants, the elements, and so forth, we are connecting with ourselves, because we experience the world as we are within. And so if we are taking action in our outer world, that's going to help benefit our inner world, and vice versa. And so that is something that I feel is going to be really emphasized during Cancer season, and just like, I'm going to say the summer period, right? Or if you're in the Southern hemisphere, the winter period. So for this quarterly period here, solstice to equinox is what I'm feeling. So I hope that this made sense. I hope that this was helpful. And thank you for watching. If you like the video, please like the video. Please share with a friend. Please subscribe to continue supporting my work here. And I hope to see you for the solstice chat on solstice morning. Take care.